Welcome back to ULTI.TV's coverage of the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships, EMUCC, here in Wrocław, Poland. It is our last game of the day and we are returning to the Mixed Masters division with BEEFIRE of Italy taking on the Wizards of Ost from Germany. It is Benjamin Rees alongside Rahel Toshnerova.
Welcome back.
It's been a lovely day, hasn't it?
It has been quite a lovely day. Not as warm or hot as we expected, but the weather was quite generous towards the players, I think, as the wind hasn't been too bad and the sun hasn't been too hot. So really some great conditions for some good real grass, proper fields ultimate, while the footballers or soccer players have been forced to resort to the turf that's behind us.
I've got bad news for you. The Olympic Stadium is being used at the moment, but it's actually being used for speedway. So no one's using the turf at the moment.
Oh no, I was talking about the turf behind us.
Oh yeah, well, who cares about that? Both of these sides, this is their third and final game of the day. We are in Pool C here. These two sides also have PUC from Paris and Karin. Both of these sides beat Karin, BEEFIRE won 15-5 and Wizards of Ost won 15-8. But the Wizards went down 15-6 to PUC in their first game of the day, while BEEFIRE clutched out a tight one at 15-13. So a win here would seal the pool for BEEFIRE, but a big win for Wizards of Ost could put them in the driving seat.
First pull goes up and Weber picks up for the Wizards. Centered to Neumann. And a slight overthrow, giving the disc right in the hands of BEEFIRE.
And they're off to the races. They're not keen to hang about here, utilising that quick distribution style of play that we're used to from so many Italian sides. This is a low throw out into space for Benassi. Centres. Ortoni looks, tries to find an option that she likes, but doesn't really see one, so he's trying to activate that dump. Good coverage on a high stall. Just has to lash it into the end zone, where it is greedily picked off by the Wizards' defense.
Intercepted now with Pleesman. Takes deep shot. He has his intended target, number 28, Edel, right in front of the end zone. Disc called not in. She's looking for that throw forward, but eventually takes the dump to Neumann. Neumann back to Pleesman. Pleesman over to Neumann-Wagner. And this time, the throw finds its way into the end zone, and that's a score and a first point for the Wizards.
Yeah, Sophia Neumann-Wagner, who might see marshalling the troops here quite often for the Wizards of Ost. Mentions that she's got a Frisbee tattoo, and actually if you look carefully you will see that on her right calf. I will see if we can get a shot of that on the cameras. Hope I'm not asking too much of them there, but yeah, if you can just get a little zoom on the right calf of number 59, I'd appreciate that.
So the Wizards starting off strong with a little bit of a hiccup in the middle in the form of the throwaway.
But earned it back and then worked it down the field to that lovely deep shot into the arms of Edel and then converted there for the score.
We saw BEEFIRE in preparation for this game doing a little scrimmage. So they are surely ready to go as they set out in a split stack.
Go all the way to the near side of the field, throws through contact into the hands of Fuentes. Fuentes dishing back into the centre. Kalanka, they're moving this so quickly, forcing the defense for the Wizards to transition, and this is an arcing shot over the far side. Fantastic layout, but it's agonizingly short. A valiant attempt regardless from Beatrice Cesana.
Excellent effort there, running down the disc. You can see her getting on her tiptoes and stretching far out, but the disc just goes around her hand. And now the BEEFIRE find themselves on defense. And a deep shot goes up and clearly defended.
Yeah, it feels like Wizards maybe have a strategy for offense, and it is to huck it deep. But that time Pussy was ready and waiting for it, and he smacked it out of the air spectacularly and has the disc in his hands now, wearing those sunglasses to shield himself from the low sun. Mazo playing a little bit of 1-2 there with Kalanka now out towards this near sideline. Zone coming out from the Wizards of Erst. Trying to sneak that one through, not going to work though.
Awesome defensive effort by Adrian Scheidt.
He's just right there waiting for that, and credit for being on his toes and ready.
Dietrich now with a huge hammer towards the end zone. Just out of reach though.
It would have been some bookends were Scheidt able to catch it, but it's just a little bit too far and too hard for him.
And Italians open up the field with a quick scooper to the break side. A nice pop over the second cup. Gives them a little bit of gaining meters there.
It's all very congested near the disc, but they're able to find a way through. Now they're trying to break it open a little bit with the swing to Posse. Playing a little bit of 1-2 again. Want to keep the disc moving quickly, recycle it frequently. Don't let that stall count get too high. The wind's died down a bit, so losing that field position, so to speak. Not quite so damaging as he might otherwise be. Nice little thread through there. Trying to get off to the races once more on this sideline is Kalanka. Kalanka will launch the hammer towards that far side. Still not in the end zone just yet. But it is well caught, and that time it is going to stick for BEEFIRE. They are on the board in the hands of Susana Fuentes Velez for the score.
What a throw there. I hope we're going to see that on the replay. It hung just enough that the disoriented receiver even had time to look for it. Look at that. He has his back towards the thrower, but then turns just in time to catch it safely, and then just a nice cross-field shot. And also, Benji, have you noticed that in the person of Nicola Possi, we have another lefty main handler?
It's a nice advantage to have because it changes the way those players see the field. If you've got a left-hand, right-hand combination, you know, they move and they break the force in slightly different ways. You can either get that real strength going around the outside or through the middle. It's a nice little combination to have at your disposal.
Agree. Yes. So, BEEFIRE getting...
Yeah, their first point of the game on the board through the hands of the Colombian import, Susana Fuentes from Medellin, which I think, you know, generally breeds a good standard of ultimate player for some reason.
Again, at the age limit of the women's masters category, at the age of 29.
Yeah, turning 30 this year.
So the Wizards pick up on the other side of the pitch. Great pass straight through the middle, through the Italian zone, but a layout interception by number 15, Maurizio.
What a grab defensively that is from the Lecce native Maurizio. And now they're putting this one out, leading it into space. There's a potential grab, and Vitali goes to ground to secure it. And BEEFIRE have the game's first breaker. They take a 2-1 lead.
Wow. That's a pretty impressive passage of play there. A quick interception for the D, and then about 3 passes later, a wide open player in the end zone with a sliding catch.
Yeah, Vitali is he's been playing 21 years, and I don't think it's unfair to say that he's been around a fair bit, either in Spain, where he now lives. His wife Gemma is a European Masters beach champion with Spain, or in Italy, be that in Florence or Torino elsewhere, where actually a lot of the team is ostensibly based in Torino, and also played stateside for a little bit. Tried out in the Pacific Northwest with Seattle Sockeye back in 2012. And once scored the winning point on Universe in the Paganello final, which, you know what, not bad. You take that.
I was once in the final of Paganello, leading about 12-6, and managed to lose anyway.
Oof. Here's a deep shot for the Wizards of Erst, and it is defended really well by the Italians. It looks like Andrea Pagano getting the D. Who are you playing with?
3SB, 2016.
Oh, I remember that.
My sister got a D on Davide Mori.
It's where we formed the Heckle squad.
That's right. I think the deep shots from Wizards are actually not a bad idea. They do have, their receivers have separation.
And that time just locked onto the receiver and it allowed the opportunity for Koenig to come in and nip in the way and get that hand in there, although potential stoppage here.
Shoe was off.
I see. So just taking an equipment opportunity here to fix that. Ground check and we're back in play. It's going to be picked up by the man who got the turn, Andre Koenig.
Koenig looking for the dump. He gets it. Receives the swing straight away. Fakes the hammer. Doesn't take it. Now for the up line. Ooh, and a defender is in the way of the pass.
Just telegraph the throw a little bit. And the Italians, to their credit, every time there's been a missed opportunity like that from the Wizards, they've been ready, and Pagano looking a little bit frustrated that there's nothing coming off that quick turnover, has to burn the time out here.
Not a terrible idea. The Italians generating 2 turns in this point already, but unable to convert them.
Yeah, and while they decide how to approach this next possession, we're going to step away from a little bit as well, but don't worry, because our coverage of this final game of the day here at EMUCC will be back very shortly.
Hi, this is Vest. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that, you know, they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Well, say what you want about Vez, really, please do. But I think he makes a good point, I don't know. Saying that, yes, if you want to help ULTI.TV do a little bit more of this, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as well as that, I highly, strongly recommend becoming a patron, although I appreciate I am not an unbiased observer here, to help us continue bringing more live free Ultimate coverage and, you know, more pitches, you know, higher quality coverage as well, from a little as a couple of currency a month. You can find out more on our website, ULTI.TV.
Back to the action on the field, where the Italians have another opportunity to score a break on the Wizards of Ost from Germany. Ost, of course, being the
East.
German word for east. That's correct.
I knew that one. Pagano gets the disc off the line coming out of that timeout and immediately has it to back, and he's uncorking a long, long bomb. This will be a tough read. And in the end, Bartzassi might have been closest to it, but was always asking a bit much. And the curse of the turnout has now struck BEEFIRE.
Not the best option there, with all the players being really far from the thrower.
Brilliant high grab there by Gemsheim.
Gamata with a nice upline cut, which will be intercepted by the female Italian defender, but maybe a call.
It looks like number 3, Claudia Ficchini, sneaking in from the backside there. There is no call, and it's a turnover. But just a good clarification there. Someone asked, you know, they didn't see the hand signal, what the call was. We got the clarification, and we're ready to go again. So here are BEEFIRE looking to extend their lead. They're up a break at the moment at 2-1. Can they find another here? Pagano squirrels around up the line with those heavily tattooed arms. And there is a pick downfield.
Very cool breaks from the Italian. When you look at the height difference in that last throw, it is quite significant, yet number 14, Temporin, actually manages to step around regardless and gets the break.
size ain't everything. Oh, that's a beautiful offhand lefty there to get the thrower tempering in a little bit of space, and he's shooting deep, and a brilliant catch as well from Claudia Facchini. And I think you're seeing there a little bit of what the Italians are all about, that little tricksy handler movement, and then when the opportunity strikes, bombing it long, letting your receivers go up there and make plays, and they take a 3-1 lead. So far, so good probably for BEEFIRE. A little bit shaky perhaps on the game's first point, but otherwise since then, looked the better side.
100%. Here's the replay of the lefty backhand to the break side.
Love that throw, because it's just leading into space, and as a handler, when you're catching the disc running onto it as well, you're seeing the play develop in front of you, so you're ready to rock and roll as soon as you catch the disc, and the deep cut was timed impeccably off that movement.
One of my favorites as well. But like you said, the Italians sort of heading into the game with a bit more fire. No wonder. As the name suggests, they want to beat fire. And so far, it's been working for them as the Wizards prepare to receive another pull, which lands in bounds, even after the handler has already signaled the brick mark. Italians sticking with the zone. Pagano. Oh, sorry, Fricek. Oh, and a wobbled catch off the hands of Koenig. And Italians waste no time moving in the opposite direction.
Here's Artorni. Back to Vitali, who caught the game's first break. A sliding grab down in the right-hand end zone. And this time, he wants to throw the break. This is going to key high, come down from an awkward angle. And Henry Weber did brilliantly to knock it away. The Leipzig native getting the disc back for his side. I have something very interesting for you about Henry Weber that I will see if I can sneak in at the next break and play. Here's the Wizards coming back out on offense. Bit of a bust there because they've got to play a wide open. And here is the aforementioned Weber on this sideline. Swings back round to Neumann. Neumann to Trotov. On the far sideline, trying to sneak it up there to Koenig. Koenig wants to put it deep. There's a player there. Is she in the end zone? Goal signalled for the Wizards of Erst. But there might be some disagreements about that. So the players are just going to talk this out. Shout out to the volunteers, by the way, who have just brought around some...
lovely warm dinner.
Yes, I can't remember what it is, but I trust that it's delicious.
We'll have a replay. The volunteers informing of the time limits yet again, as they've been doing all day. Oh, maybe a discussion on whether it was in or not.
And they're signalling it a goal. So, Wizards of Oz with the hold, going to make it 3-2. I mentioned Henry Weber, who got the disc back to, which they eventually converted. Sophia Wagner, who's also on the team now, Sophia Neumann-Wagner, was actually his coach at the Ultimate Beginners course at Leipzig University, where he first played Ultimate 9 years ago. So that's sweet, playing with your coach.
I know. I was actually always hoping that I will get to play with my kids, like, for example, the Swedish team from Örebro, which features top-level athletes, which are also parents and children.
I'm thinking specifically of the Angergaard family.
That is correct. But I'm afraid it's slipping away slowly but steadily.
No, you've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I just have to push back the end of my ultimate career.
I mean, as we've seen, guys, you can continue playing as long as you want.
That's right. So BEEFIRE received the pull there. It's nice and central now.
Posse with that low throw central is caught now towards this sideline. Sisana Low release just about finds that channel through to Kalanka. Kalanka with a high release. It's going to tail out the sideline. No! That is immaculate footwork there from the BEEFIRE receiver. Good spirit as well from the Wizards of First to immediately call it in. And that'll be a score for BEEFIRE to make it 4-2. And I think it is Laura Fantinato with the goal. Let's have another look at it here on the low angle replay. Nick's doing the business on cam 2 for this game, Rob on cam 1, and Milan running the desk. Here we go, this backhand, it doesn't quite keep that edge, it floats away, and that is, as you see, brilliant footwork.
Lots of great aggressive cuts, gaining a lot of meters for the Italian offense. Very much enjoyed the work of the Italian women here.
Yeah, balletic almost. As we're seeing... Hey Rob, I wonder why you've zoomed in over there on the MCP game.
Get back on the right pitch, Rob.
Mysterious. Rob's wife Monica is playing in the mixed division for MCP, so I know that Rob is definitely keeping an eye out on what's going on over there.
He is handsome, but he is taken. A bladey pull, rolls.
Just about fielded eventually by Mittag.
Bergel looking for options, finds Mittag, and Mittag rips it deep. What a shot! Is the defender gonna get there? Yes, he will. Is that Vitali with the D?
It is indeed Vitali.
Again the same thing with the Wizards. A great look, a receiver with separation, and then the huck just dying off a bit too slow. Allowing the defenders to catch up.
Yeah, it looks good, and then it just holds up a little too long. And Vitali got up nice and early to knock that away.
So another chance for a break as the camera zooms on Milan.
Put it away. I say Vitali is no stranger to organising these international tournaments himself, so he understands the work that goes in on the organisational side of things. Here's Pagano. He's looked to power this D-line. Oh, that's a low throw. Brilliant and spectacularly caught by Andrea Crozetta wearing that cycling style hat. Here's the slightly diminutive Temporin who started learning Ultimate. Not too far from me, actually. In the University of Southampton. Here's a deep put now from the Italians towards the back of the end zone. And it is the aforementioned Andrea Temporin who makes the catch for the goal, and that'll open up a 5-2 lead here
for Italy. What a visionary, incredible throw there in the space. There were two defenders down by the receiver, by Tempori, but when you really think about it, they had absolutely no chance. It was nice and bladey, right above their heads. They couldn't really see where exactly it was. Let's see that on the replay. Nice opener to the break side. One more. And then an immediate snap.
And Temporin reads it well. Has to turn back over his shoulder, but he continues tracking the flight of the disc and makes the grab. Seeing there a shout out for the EUF's partners at Force Ultimate. We provide the tournament swag for this tournament. Eurodisc, who are providing our playing equipment as well. And a huge shout out to all the team here at Zuchgrei, who have done a fantastic job organising another brilliant event here in Wrocław.
So the Wizards are going to try their luck again against this Italian zone. And another deep shot goes up, and another defender is ready for it. This time it was Denise Trotnov, but just a bit too floaty, I guess.
This time, good advantage of the face mark there, recognising it, just put it out into space. Defender's going to see it late. Pagano is always going to be favoured to make that catch. This one underneath, under tight pressure from Anne Neumann. Not a problem though for Arnelli. Pagano remonstrating with his cutters downfield in that classic expressive Italian smile. And just off the hands of the first receiver. Otherwise that Oyo might have well found its way into the hands of Levin.
Trotnov picks up for the Wizards. Looks for the break, doesn't get it. Finds Neumann. Anna goes to Sofia.
Oh, that is a Beautiful throw towards the far side of the field, but again it hung just a little bit too long and it allowed the defender to close the gap. I love the idea. I actually thought the execution was good, but maybe they were a little bit too passive in going up for it.
Honestly, there's no one who wishes more for the deep shots to work than me.
I know, I've seen you play. As
so.
Another timeout here is going to be called by BEEFIRE, and while they get a chance to reset themselves and hopefully get another break here to make it 6-2, we will step away for a minute as well, but don't go anywhere, because our coverage of EMUCC continues on the other side.
Murphy then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DB!
Help us go electric, become a member.
Look, I kind of still don't understand the commercial even after they've explained it to me. But if you want to help Ultimate grow and help us grow in a sustainable, environmentally friendly fashion as well, you can become a member of our Patreon page. You can find out more details on our website, www.ULTI.TV, and for as little as a couple of currency a month, you can help us grow the beloved sport of Ultimate. Oh, that was awkward over the head, but a nice catch made to get us back into play by Benassi. Now leading to Pagano on the break side, the sun beginning to set over towards our left-hand side. Good backup catch made there by Bardzassi. Pagano tries to scuttle and squirrel his way through as the reset, but instead it goes downfield to Benassi. This time it's going to go to Pagano, who is so deliberate with those movements in the backfield. Franchini centers to Artoni. Artoni back to Bardzassi. Trying to squeeze that one down the far sideline, and did he complete the catch is the question, or was it out? It seems like both sides are happy that the goal counts, and it is 6-2 now to BEEFIRE.
Benji, I think these Italians are proving a bit of a mouthful for the Germans. The offense right there, the awareness, the readiness to get the disc even though it goes over the head of the player in front of you. Just very impressive performance from the Italian, just lots of eagerness.
BEEFIRE are proving to be a fly in the German ointment, so to speak.
Was that replay the score?
That was.
That did not look like a score. That looked like a drop on the ground.
Hey, both sides were happy with it.
No need for intervention.
We will leave it there.
So as the sun sets on the left-hand side of the camera and we see the wonderful, wonderful light coming down.
Hey, by the way, nice camera job, nice framing on that far side. Nick, thank you very much. Good layout for the AUC. Back in play with the Wizards of Erst here on pitch 1.
Anna Neumann picks up and centers to Weber. And another incredible layout D. Such an athletic performance from BEEFIRE.
Yeah, I think it's Temporin as Gemsheim just slowed a little, that opened the door, and they're looking to strike quickly, and boy, do they strike quickly. One pass ultimate there from BEEFIRE, who are now 1 point away from halftime, and that is going to call Wizards of Ost to call a timeout.
Just so fired up. Incredible, incredible. Like, these Italian women are all over the place. Look at that again. He does take the undershot, and a huge layout, putting his body in front of the receiver. Vitaly picks up immediately, and just one pass, like Benji said, to the end zone. Secure catch.
It's clinical, isn't it? It is so clinical. See volunteers tucking into tonight's dinner as our two teams go through their various huddles, ready to get back into action for the next point that could, with a BEEFIRE break, be the last of this half.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Welcome back to ULTI.TV's coverage of EMUCC 2022. The European Masters Ultimate Club Championships, as the sun sets towards our left here in Wrocław, Poland. Our final game of the day is from the Mixed Masters division, with Wizards of Ost in a little bit of a hole here. BEEFIRE just butting around all the way to a 7-2 lead.
To give you a little bit of insider information on the Wizards, this is their first tournament, Benji. So clearly there might be some miscommunications, and this tournament should be, and the Wizards want it to be a starting point for developing German Masters Ultimate in the east of Germany. So those are some great efforts that deserve to be commended.
100%. They list their biggest rivals as the Wicked Witch of the West. As to which team that is specifically, I couldn't tell you. There are a fair few German teams in attendance.
The Wizards will take the disc to the break mark and get it to the break side immediately to Camacho, the Puerto Rican import of the Wizards. Oh, a nice second attempt grab by Mittag. Mittag to Dietrich. Dietrich finds Claudia Neumann, who gets it off to Kong.
Going to be a pick, though, that's going to temporarily halt proceedings. Claudia Neumann did not have a choice to start playing Ultimate, apparently. Married into it 5 years ago. And I'm sure they will not be the only person who has suffered that fate.
So the disc will be tapped in on the sideline. And just a short discussion regarding the stall count. Kong gets the disc around for the dump to Camacho. Camacho looks for the break, doesn't get it. Ooh, and a nice pickup by Neumann. And another pick.
Sideline, please. Thank you. It's all right.
Disc gets tapped back in. Wizard stuck on the sideline, and she will put it up as the stall count gets high. Few players underneath.
The stall out is called back at the disc, and it is uncontested as well. So Neumann couldn't get rid of that one in time. It's a very active mark there, not letting the dump get off easily, shuffling those feet to move around, and no contest on the stall. So it will be checked back in. Get everyone doing the little dance, repeating the hand signals.
An uncontested stall out.
And it's checked back in. And we're off. After a brief false start there. Oh, no, we're not. Violation.
Surely that can be a violation after she has checked it in, no?
I think the violation happened before she checked it in. There we go. A little bit of a hokey-cokey there. Or hokey-pokey, I guess, if you're American.
The Austrians calling for a zone defense, trying to set it up.
Germans.
Germans, sorry.
I mean, unless you mean Austrians in terms of they are people from Ost, in which case I'm going to allow this. Here's Vitali. You're right, they're not going one-on-one on the turn, and actually the Italians here just saying, okay, we'll take our time, we'll get ourselves set in rhythm, and then we'll see if we can get our offense going. And that is just about zipped in there to Fantinato, stretching it on the far sideline to Maurizio.
Scheid really getting his hand in there. Now Germans transitioning to match D.
Lever's wide open. Can she get an option at the front of the end zone? She can indeed. It is Francesca Ranelli, and that will give BEEFIRE an 8-2 half-time lead. And I think you have to say, on the balance of things so far, it feels about right.
100% Benji. Italians all over the place in this game. Running, getting Ds, scoring points with cheeky throws, but also some very secure ones. Look at that little snag right on the end zone line. A deserved first half for the Italians to be up 8-2.
So that's going to do it for this first half here on ULTI.TV. While the two teams get a breather, get some water and refreshment on board, we will do the same here in the booth and on the production side of things. But don't go anywhere, because our final half of the day from EMUCC will continue after the break.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Despite what Felix thinks by walking away, don't worry, the coverage is not over here. At EMUCC, you're getting a first half highlights reel of mixed Masters division action between BEEFIRE of Torino, Italy, and the Wizards of Ost from the east of Germany. Now, my German knowledge is not, German geography I should say, is not necessarily spectacular. When you're thinking of, when saying about Eastern Germany, thinking about places like Leipzig?
Correct, yeah.
Dresden?
Dresden, that's right.
I couldn't give you any others off the top of my head.
Yeah. Being born in '89, I don't really recall super well what West and East Germany used to be, where the border lied. All I know is that there was a West and East part of Berlin, so surely Berlin counts as well.
I mean, maybe, I guess.
We have the Wizards walking past, so they can help us out with some more Eastern German cities, besides Leipzig and Dresden. Halle.
There we go.
GER. Jena.
We're learning.
We're learning.
This is exciting.
Thank you very much, Sophia. And another pull goes up to open up the second half. We will have BEEFIRE starting on offense, which is not the greatest bit for the Wizards, as they're down to 2-8.
On this sideline making the catch is Andrea Pagano, who we've seen what a devastating handler he can be. Likes to move the disc quickly and cause all sorts of problems. For the opposite team, did he get his hands underneath that? He must have done. Mazzo finds Possi. Again, more zone coming out from the Wizards of Ost. And it seems pretty content between the Italian handlers at this point. Nice hammer over the top there. They're off to the races, utilising that quick give and go to devastating effect. Now going with a lefty for Pagano. Wanted it again and actually goes for it this time. To his option on the far side in Kalanka.
Wizards switch to match.
Little push pass there from Matzo. He gets the disc back after that 1-2. Wants that break around, doesn't like what he sees, so goes to Pagano. Looking at the end zone, very much in scoring range here. And the hammer over the top is going to do it because it lands right in the bread basket. And that gives a 7-point lead now for BEEFIRE. It is 9-2, and Beatrice Cesano with the catch.
Again, a nice, steady offense with no pressure. 3 male handlers in the back, just working through the zone. Then they finally pop it over the top with an overhead throw, work it up with a bit of give and go, and finish up with this strong overhead to one of their reliable female teammates.
It's been a pretty complete performance so far from BEEFIRE to take a 9-2 lead here.
Yep, looks like, unfortunately, another slightly one-sided game on the stream, but of course, as the tournament progresses, we will see more and more tighter games.
Yeah, as we get into bracket play in mixed masters, and it's just a big pool for the open and both masters and grandmasters, straight to finals for them. But as you mentioned, yeah, bracket play for mixed masters, we do expect it to get a little bit closer. And at the very least, at least we can get a slightly earlier night tonight, ready for 6 more games on the live stream field tomorrow. Are you as hyped as I am?
That is right.
Best job in the world.
We hereby invite any of the participants of this tournament to come join us as guest commentators if they feel like they would like to try it out and maybe commentate on one of their compatriot teams. Ooh, and Wagner puts up a huge flick, and this time it's collected in the end zone. Finally, the Italian defense misses. Artoni was underneath, but just a bit trying to overachieve, getting up high, but not enough.
Yeah, and Andre Koenig is at the back of the end zone. She got a decent amount of air himself, and to come back down inbounds and make the catch as well, no mean feat. We'll see it again here when Neumann Wagner gets the disc in her hands. I think she's thinking about it, deciding, yeah, why not? What have we got to lose at this point?
But honestly, quite impressive given, excuse me.
No.
That this was a break side flick, and so the receiver should have been wide open. The defense was right there, right on it.
Seeing action from the Sugar Mix versus AUC game going on the pitch beyond this one. But back to the matter at hand with BEEFIRE receiving for the first time. Well, I say in a while. They received to begin this half, but I will say that that's the first point for Wizards for a fair while. And how will BEEFIRE manage?
Wizards sticking with their zone. That has been working a little bit. It wasn't too bad.
It slowed down the Italians without necessarily stopping them, I think. Posse, oh, that one is still going to be alive. No, not quite. Koenig is making a real nuisance of himself from a BEEFIRE perspective, getting the D there. Neumann Wagner with that tattoo on her right calf. A Frisbee player skying the number 59, her shirt number, picks up the disc.
They move quickly towards the end zone, trying to eliminate the number of passes that would get them to the desired outcome, which is obviously a break against the Italians. Neumann Wagner just out of the end zone, goes for the break, just out of reach.
Yeah, Storm was rising, located the receiver, tried to find a way to get it there, but maybe just not quite enough inside out on the throw, didn't quite sit enough, and actually there was a player open for the this near side back cone for a potential blade over the top.
I've just received information that the AUC and Sugar Mix on the other field are trading points. So if you see our cameras wandering towards in that general direction, it's because it's being a very, very tight game.
And that game would be to top this pool, I believe. No, it wouldn't. It's the other pool. It's the pool with Flying Rabbits and MCP, but it would be to top that pool. The other two teams in this pool are Corinne and PUC, but with a victory there, PUC will probably seal up second spot, assuming that this game plays out as it has been and BEEFIRE take the win.
A pick is being resolved in the meantime on our pitch number 1, where BEEFIRE is on O again.
Down the far sideline with Susanna. Caught the hammer from that previous BEEFIRE goal. Now swinging across into the hands of Fuentes. Fuentes plays it short. Kalanka. Towards the far sideline is Fantinato.
The Italian sideline calling for calmness and chill.
Just want to take the time. Oh, a cheeky little push pass there out of the hands of Kalansa. I like that. I like that an awful lot. And thought about the hammer there, but instead just going to pop that in. Enough push passes. Oh, a little miss throw there. I think a miscommunication. Kalanka left it for a receiver in behind, but despite the layout, they couldn't get there. Valiant effort from Susanna is in vain. So another break opportunity here for the Wizards of Ost.
And a great chance will be started off by a timeout.
Yeah, I think they know how important this point could be if they are to power a comeback here, so why take the risk? You know, take the time, set up what you like, and see if you can punch it in. You can hear the roar of the Speedway engines coming from the Olympic Stadium in the background. We're getting a sneak peek of the Sugar Mix versus AUC, Amsterdam Ultimate Club game, in the background. That is to top that pool, and I believe it's tied at 9 apiece.
And if you're disappointed to only see that game in between the little intermezzos of this actual streamed game, make sure to support ULTI.TV in all the ways you're able to. And maybe next time we'll be able to stream 2 fields.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube, share the links around. 6-9 it is, that turns out that I can't read. Yeah, share the link around, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, get the word out there, and if you can, pledge a couple of currency a month to become a patron of ULTI.TV, although anything more, of course, is muchly appreciated, and it means that we can bring you more Ultimate for free at more tournaments, more pitches at those tournaments, and higher quality coverage as well. You can find out more information on our website, which, as you might expect, is www.ulti.tv. Right, capitalism brain disengaged.
Teams come out of the timeout with Wizards of Ost with, I think, only their second or third opportunity to break against BEEFIRE of Italy. Disc will be tapped in at the further sideline with the Wizards setting up in a vertical stack with a handler in the middle that gets the disc immediately.
Yeah, no hanging about in that over-the-top throw to Neumann.
Edel back to Neumann. And Koenig with a deep shot into the end zone, which gets tipped by the defender.
Nice heads-up play there from Laura Fantinato, because could have just locked on to her mark, but actually saw the field better as a whole and was able to get a hand in there to knock that away. By the way, I see down to my right, Beatrice Cesana has got some ice on her wrist, so I do hope that she's going to be okay. Temporary stoppage here. There's a lot of hand waving in the backfield. Travel called.
So far, I've seen more hand injuries than leg injuries.
Discs are hard. And also, I think, testament to the quality of the fields.
Correct.
It's a lovely complex here in Wrocław, Poland. Going to go back into the hands of number 66, Nicola Pozzi.
Great job downfield. A female player pulling away 2 defenders. And the Italians only using half of the potential.
Yeah, keeping it all very in close so far, but there's definitely this shot over towards this side of the field. That's a lovely blade down that far sideline. The defender closed, but couldn't get there quickly enough to apply any pressure to Vanessa Bazzassi, who dumps off here to Mazzo. Mazzo now goes back to Pozzi. Pozzi short. There's a player open. It sits out there for a good while, and she has all the time in the world to collect herself to make the catch. It's Claudia Facchini with the grab to put BEEFIRE up 10-3, and the curse of the turnout strikes again.
The only thing I have in my head for Wizards at this stage is, so far, the transition from the zone to match defense hasn't really done much for them. It didn't bring about the benefits that you're looking for, in a sense that your opponent gets a bit confused about what's happening, and in the turmoil of the looking for players, they just it forces a turnover.
Are you suggesting that they keep the zone all the way to the end?
I actually
See,
am.
I like this, because a lot of teams think, oh no, it's because you like to assign responsibility, make sure that everyone knows exactly precisely what their job is. And with the zone, it can be a bit more fluid, at least that's my theory. But, you know, theoretically, when should a zone offense, when should a zone defense work best? When space is at a premium, and where is that more abundantly true than when you're close to the end zone? Because teams do not like going backwards. As our volunteers and scorekeepers on the sideline, keeping things running and ticking over. 10-3 the current score here, as the pool goes up to the Wizards of Ost.
Received by Nguyen. Now Neumann with it. Sorry, that was Kong. Kong now gets the disc up line too. Oh, a nice slice through to Camacho, and the Italians change to match D as well, and the Wizards use it pretty well with Scheid getting the D in the getting the score in the end zone by jumping for it, diving for it.
Can I be real here? That catch is pretty ridiculous, right? I mean, that's
it's one of them
stuff.
Face to the ground catches.
Yeah, it's so easy there to not gather it cleanly or to ground strip yourself on the landing.
We'll have a look at that again.
There's Herrig, puts it deep, and he somehow manages to keep it speared in there.
Doesn't mind his hands getting under him, potentially to be broken by the weight of his body. But I think that throw was just slightly poorly executed, in a sense that I don't think it was meant to go so sharply.
Wasn't meant to be quite so spicy.
Yep.
But apparently someone has done their practice with the Scoville scale and is ready and waiting for it. Or at the very least, had some cooling yogurt nearby. Here's the pool going up towards BEEFIRE.
Was it still 6 point down?
Yeah, Italians from Turin, Torino. On offense, this one's going to put over the top. I'd see the Italians maybe move the disc a bit more quicker off the start. And he's falling over on the floor, not a problem. And he's going to call the travel on that. And demonstrating it in quite spectacular fashion is Scheid, who we've seen from that previous catch. Might have somewhat of a flair for the dramatic, but why not? The throw does indeed go to Pagano. Pagano to Kalanka.
Wizards changing their approach to match D.
I think they're sticking with that junk. They're just temporarily, when players come into those zones.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's just yeah.
The opportunity felt like it presented itself there, but they've stuck with this system. Palacio down the sideline. In the hands of Fantinato, the calls of fire from the Wizards sideline, which I believe will be that transition to one-on-one defense, but again, not a problem for BEEFIRE, and again, it's Laura Fantinato with the assist, and this time Susana Fuentes-Velez will make the catch for the goal, and 11-4.
Like we said, the Italian women and their international pickups doing a huge chunk of work for BEEFIRE's offense.
Yeah, Fuentes, as we mentioned earlier, originally from Medellin, but now based in Turin. Been a very potent downfield weapon for them. Seeing the Flying Rabbits getting some coaching instruction there. From Brussels, Belgium, I believe, the Flying Rabbits. Up against MCP, the Masters Control Project from the north of England, over on the pitch down there on the far side.
On field number 1, BEEFIRE still up by 7 points.
Yep. It's late in the day, don't worry. Maths is hard.
Not that it makes too much of a difference for lawyers who are pretty bad with numbers regardless, but a great poll.
Look at me, I'm Rachel, I've got a real job. It's all right. I'm more than happy doing this.
So am I really. Oh, a defender almost gets a hand on that, and a big shot goes up. And there's two tall, oh, just out of, well, the position wasn't ideal.
I think Garmatter would probably want that back.
But Weber's shot, I think, was really good.
It's
well
a good
placed.
shot. It's a good shot. You know, it was a good cut as well. I always, you know, whenever people drop it, just think about, look, you must have been in a good position because you were open enough for the throw to put it to you. Especially with a deep throw, there's maybe a bit more, it's not as easy a throw. So it was the right option, just flubbed the catch. Maybe didn't have to go up for it so early, but the back of the end zone there was looming. BEEFIRE back on offense now. Haven't seen their D-line get the disc for a while. Vitali surveys his options, tries to sneak that one through. Going to ground, but making the catch is Levra. Here's Vitali in the centre. Kind of taking off deep. Oh, that throw's a little bit low, but it's well rescued by Crossetto, sending this one out to space. Vitali wants the disc back central, and just Neumann a little bit too long. And Neumann was ready and waiting, and the hustle to get back defensively is thoroughly commendable there from Anne Neumann.
I will almost call that sexy. Neumann now with the disc herself, without a mark, finds Sophia, who thinks about the deep shot, but decides against it, goes back to Neumann.
I mean, I would say, given a lot of these places, a lot of these players are based in Leipzig, maybe even Saxy. Saxy dive there, the Saxy Divers, the team from Leipzig.
Not sure what the call is there. Maybe
pick downfield, I think,
travel
or travel perhaps. I'm seeing conflicting hand signals.
Oh yeah, a travel.
Too much going on, enough throw perhaps.
A bit of explaining happening. The disc will go back to Neumann Wagner.
Arnelli is waiting to check this back in.
You can have a look at that, and everyone at home can judge for themselves. Nope, not a travel in my opinion.
It's close either way. Anyway, the disc is back with Neumann Wagner. Dishes it off to Neumann. Go again, looking for that throw and go.
Ooh! Just a player crossing the path of the other cut.
Crossetto gets his hands in the way, tried to catch it, but in the end could only knock it out of the sideline. Doesn't matter all the same because it is a BEEFIRE disc. Vitaly gets the inside line and he fumbles the catch.
That was quite a good one.
Whoops.
Whoops. Wizards will go the other way. A second turnover. They managed to press out 2 of them out of the Italian team. Now they're in a really good position. The deep throw goes up for Sofia, but it's floating away from her. Can she run it down? Unfortunately, just a bit of a wrong spin, and we hear a foul on the throw by Dmitriy Doroshenko.
If it had held its line, I think she would have had a shot at it, but as it is, you could see it looked good, and then it just tailed and drifted off towards this sideline. But as you mentioned, there is a call for a foul on the throw by Vitaly.
She was very much hustling to get there on time. Regarding the foul, we're gonna get another replay. We see Gamata getting into the power position. He steps around. Didn't seem like a lot of contact there.
There is contact with the arm, but I think the disc has already gone by that point. And turnover stands. So, I'll be honest, this is always the way I prefer things. If you're not sure, call it, have the discussion, because of course you can always retract you can always, retract it, but it never hurts to have it be a bit more communicative with your opponents. That sun towards our left-hand side is really getting in my eyes a little bit now.
So far, we've had wonderful displays of spirit across all the divisions. I really hope it stays that way throughout the tournament as the games get tighter and tighter.
I'm sure it will. These players have seen it all before.
But I do understand that towards the end of the day, when the fatigue sets in and you're quite frustrated with yourself and the team for not working as well as you would like to, you might resort to some rush emotions.
Yeah, you can become a bit emotional. Your decision making gets the better of you sometimes. As we saw there, poor decision, and Neumann Wagner will pick up right on the end zone line here.
She will look for the break, and she found her, I think, partner Claudia Neumann just on the end zone line. And that's a score for Wizards, bringing them closer to 5-11.
Yeah, still got a big way if they are to pull the comeback in this game, but they've got the time to do it certainly. And as we said before, as long as you have to score that final point in ultimate, which you do, we can keep on going. Although actually, at some point, I imagine the light may go away.
Luckily, the fields here in Wrocław are equipped with artificial lightning. Lighting. That's another word. Command and commend, and lightning and lighting.
Tomato, tomato, potato,
right.
potato. Let's call the whole thing off. Which, by the way, who says potato? Literally no one. Terrible song. Awful.
English teachers, is it?
No. I will tell you no.
So a double whistle from the Volunteers. We're moving on to another point. Wizards will pull towards the Italians, who are currently completely blinded by the sun setting behind the end zone they're trying to reach.
Yeah, it's certainly something you've got to deal with. You understand why Posse is wearing the sunglasses, although he has been wearing those all game. And that one is a little bit low, and it won't stick in the gloved hands of the receiver there. I think that might be for Keeney. Break opportunity now for Wizards.
Good pressure, good defensive pressure from the Wizards. Sofia Wagner tries to take another timeout for her team.
And they're just double checking how many timeouts they have. And they do indeed have one to use. So Neumann Wagner is taking the opportunity to use one here and take a little bit of a breather. Also, I've just noted with the Wizards of Oz jerseys, if you look at the right sleeve, they've all got a different member of the crew of the Wizard of Oz on there.
Aww.
Oh, I've just got the pun now. Why is it's been a long day. Wizards of Oz, yeah.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
become a member, and
find
fund
our
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to ULTI.TV's coverage of the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships. Ignore the speedway noises in the background from the Olympic Stadium. It is definitely ultimate, and Wizards of Ost bringing the disc in here off the timeout, down 5-11 against BEEFIRE of Torino, Italy.
Wagner stuck on the sideline a little bit, but now they finally get the gainer. Fritschek finds Trotnov, back to Fritschek. König with the disc, he's been fundamental for the Wizards offense. That's Gemsheim. And now a deep shot, sort of a Hail Mary. Who's gonna get there? Who's gonna read it better? And it will be Claudia Neumann for the Wizards, and that's a second break in a row, I believe, for the Wizards. A bit of a lack of concentration on the Italian side, who have been just working so hard the whole game.
I'm trying to look directly into the camera to say hello to everyone, but it's difficult because the sun's in my eyes to the picture over there. But hello, it's Ben Chiris and Rachel Toshnerova here with you on ULTI.TV. 11-6 to score after that Wizards of Ost break, as you mentioned. There you are. There's the offender. Do not look directly at it. Look directly instead at our live streams. Thank you very much.
So obviously the German fans in the entire east of Germany doing a great job in all the towns and cities that we have learned are indeed in the east or Ost of Germany.
Yeah.
Are doing a great job cheering up this newly formed Masters team, because they've been able to get 2 breaks in a row against this strong Italian BEEFIRE offense. And let's see if they can do it again.
By the way, hello to everyone watching and getting involved on the YouTube chat. Good to have you along. Here's Kalanka. High release over the top there. Finds the orchestrator Pagano down the sideline for Fuentes. Colombian expat goes to Fantinato and trying to sneak that one underneath. How's that for a low release flick for 12-6? Fuentes to Facchini.
What a pivot there to squeeze it right underneath the hand of the marker. Very impressive. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Absolute bombshells, these Italian women. Look at that again. She pops it in the middle, gets it back right in front of the end zone, and straight away she goes for the really low release forehand for the score.
Just leads on that beautifully. Sneaks it under the hand of the mark. So the waiting receiver in the end zone. 3 points away from victory now, BEEFIRE. 6 points ahead of their opponents, the German Wizards of Ost.
But we will do our best to support the losing team. Just for you watching at home.
Hey, I'm completely unbiased, as you famously know.
Just to bring you the best and tightest games you can find out there. If it won't be this one, there will surely be more as we get into the bracket.
In the other game in this pool, PUC have seen off Korean by a final score of 15-6. that, if scores hold, would put them in second place in this group and a pre-quarter spot tomorrow morning.
Canold putting the disc to the sideline now, looking for the reset, doesn't get it, and that's a throwaway on the dump throw.
Yeah, Claudia Neumann's throw just ricochets off the hands of Mittag, and they want to strike quickly, fumbled, yes, no!
Slightly misread disc, then she gets a second chance on it, but drops it nonetheless.
It's so difficult when you're kind of falling over towards the ground because you're trying to get your hands on it while you're also losing your balance and you're moving, and it's always easiest when you're being still when you're catching it, you know, creating a nice solid steady target for it. And when you're falling over, you're not getting that.
And a good second chance for the Wizards. Mittag was pumping and faking the deep shots, didn't take it, but now someone else will. And there is an open receiver. Great stuff from Bögel, bringing the disc down. He's now looking somebody who's going forward. He finds Canold again, just shy of the end zone.
Canold, who put a brilliant cut to get up line to get the space to put that deep throw in the first place.
Neumann to Camacho. Camacho opening up the deep space, and here is the unstoppable Italian female power with a run through D.
Vanessa Barzassi doing the business on that occasion. This is very static after the turn here, and so frustrated. In the end, the poach of Hagen Canold, who's having himself a hell of a point, was just there ready and waiting.
Mittag now with an around shot. Gets it over to Dietrich, and he finds Claudia Neumann in the end zone. Excellent stuff.
Not perfect from Wizards, but they put it in, and that's what counts.
And 7-12 really is a good score for them, given how far behind they were most of the game. So they've really stepped up their game in the second half.
Yeah, they've not let BEEFIRE really accelerate in this second stanza of the game.
And you never know, it might get to them. You might get in their heads, and
if they can't put it away and they begin to slowly eat away at that lead, you're right, there is always that chance. Sun just beginning to disappear behind the tree line towards our left-hand side here on ULTI.TV's coverage of EMUCC 2022, and I'm very impressed that I haven't got the year wrong on that at all day. Because, of course, famously, the last 2 years kind of never happened, so who knows anymore.
And another pull goes up, this time in the hands of the Italians.
Marzo catches, throws it central to Possi. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication about who's on who. Kalanka looking downfield. There's the opportunity to break it into and through the center of the pitch, which he takes to Fuentes. Fuentes now finds Facchini downfield. Facchini shooting for the end zone. This might hang a little bit, but not quite enough for the defender to close. Yanina Palacio makes the grab for 13-7.
Great opportunity, recognizing the player that was being poached in the end zone. And they put it up for her quite beautifully. We'll have a replay of that.
Yeah, BEEFIRE's women really doing the business downfield. Timing those cuts brilliantly and utilizing that break side space to perfection.
13-7, BEEFIRE extending their lead. Obviously the Wizards trying to claw their way back in, doing much better in the second half. But it's still a long way to go, and the sun is almost gone. "73 minutes into the game, so still plenty of time. But I think we're more likely
to see the score cap than the time cap, unless, of course, Wizards can mount a miraculous and magical comeback.
A Blady pull rolls, and it ends in the hands of Anne Neumann. And a high throw is brought down by Sophia, who dishes it deep immediately, and that's a score by Melanie Edel. A nice girls' point really didn't need the guys at all. Just a quick move to the sideline and one deep shot, and there we are.
Hey, the guy stopped the roll. Give him some credit.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
No, but all seriousness, that's an absolute cannon off the arm of Sophia Neumann-Wagner. Finds the target she likes deep in Adel. Not the first time we've seen her do damage in that deep space, and the defender tried to close, but it's a brilliant throw.
So since we've been given so much credit to their Italian counterparts, I really like that the German women stepped up their game and showed off that they can very much respond in their own fashion.
I mean, she really pinged that. It's lovely form on that throw, and it zips off her fingers.
So Wizards stay in the game, 8-13, but they really need to step up their defensive pressure once again. They've given up on the zone a little bit, so I think they will go for match D here again.
Here's Matzo.
And of course, as I say that, there is a junk look.
Of course, commentator's curse not real, but thank you, Rachel. Here we are, the scuba over the top leads to that brilliantly weighted lead pass out of the hands of Kalanka, and a choice of receiver in the end, but it's Fakini who makes the catch, and that's just, they recognised the zone was happening early, and while they were not quite set in position, the scuba over the top found the player isolated in space, and then lovely deep put, just a nice, as some of my Irish colleagues would say, buttery biscuit of a backhand.
And BEEFIRE find themselves just 1 point away from victory in this late night last game of the day.
Yeah, victory that would confirm their place at the top of this pool.
But I do appreciate the Wizards' creativity. You do, when there's clearly a defensive struggle, you do want to try out different things. And I feel like that scuba wasn't the perfect throw that would work out in all 100% of cases.
Elsewhere in the mixed division, Reading Ultimate have topped their pool. It looks like RJP probably in pole position to take second, depending on the result of their game against Marmota. And still waiting on the results in Pool D. But in Pool A, Thundering Herd have polished off Amida 15-8, and Heidi's and Quattro Dampiaggi are battling it out to see who will top that pool, with the potential, of course, to see the second and third place finishes in our streamed pre-quarter tomorrow. Let me do maths here. Morning, which will take place at 11:20 Central European time, which is where we are.
Kong walks the pole to the brick mark, receives the disc in the meantime yet again for the third time now in this offense. Oh, puts up a basically undefendable throw to be caught by Bögel right in front of the end zone. And here's the score the Wizards have been waiting for. They stay alive, bring the score to 9-14. Great piece of offense.
That was hype. It was a little bit hype, wasn't it?
Pretty hype.
That spicy blade over the top, and then the continuation into the end zone for the goal. I love that the Wizards are keeping their spirits high, even though the scoreline is not quite going in their favour.
I completely agree, and I will say it again. Nothing sexier than a beautiful OI flick. Look at that again.
Woof.
Absolutely no chance for the defender there.
Yeah, and Bögel just takes his time, a little bit of roll curve to take it past the defender, and it's Adrian Scheidt getting himself in the end zone once more. Nothing that Arturo Franchini could do about that one. Just, I love how high the spirits have been, and the game has been played in such good spirit, as have all the games we've seen this weekend, actually. It's, I say this weekend, A, it's not technically the weekend, and B, it's only day one, but you know what I mean, this tournament, I should say. Good vibes all round.
We all have heard you so many times that we have good understanding of any of your expressions, Benji.
Idiosyncrasies, yes. I get around in a commentary sense.
So a potential game point for the Italians. Hopefully the Wizards have put on the best they have in terms of D-line, sticking with match D.
Yeah, it looks like they wanted to work out of that side stack if a match defense came down, when they came down zone. They instead tried to form out of that and pick the spaces downfield. And we're off to the races now for the Italians. They could finish it in one throw from this distance. Travel called.
And I see what the Germans are doing, poaching the open side and having a male player poaching off the deep shots.
Maybe taking a few too many steps, perhaps, is the call from Frisbee. Dumping it back on the restart to Fan. Oh, wow.
Ooh, great defensive efforts.
Who had that catch caught, but unfortunately for Bardzasi, she maybe faked that flick a little bit too hard because it works and weasels its way out of her grasp.
Neumann Wagner with the disc, looks for the reset, doesn't get it, and now she's a bit stuck, finds Fritschik. Eventually, the Wizards, again, really far downfield, but they do get the gainer now on the side in the hands of Edel.
Yeah, that catch right in front of our camera, we can clearly see that foot was very much in, but this throw from Koenig is very much out. And he beat his thighs in frustration, exasperated, because he knew he did not get that one right.
And he also knows that there might not be another chance for his team to get that disc.
There might not indeed.
However, he will have to work that much harder, and the open side poaching really wasn't a bad idea. It was giving the Italians a bit of a struggle. So we see a mismatch on the mark. Yep, it's a poachy D, not a match D. Really trying to force the long resets.
You got there in the end, it's all right. I couldn't think of what word you were looking for
swings.
either.
I was going to say swings. Italians now working really patiently.
Trying to sneak that one through. Again, they're so good at this when they find the opportunity. Breaking away at pace. The lefty with a flick to the end zone. Caught for the score and for the victory by Susana Fuentes Velez and BEEFIRE. Well, they did all the work in the first half where they created a 6-point separation, although we might be going back. Nope, score stands, and they kept that 6-point margin all the way through to the end for the victory for a 15-9 final score. And that will do it.
That is the game, and that is the coverage for today, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to thank Nick and Rob and Milan, who are helping us with the video.
Yeah, our spectacular ULTI.TV crew, to all of the volunteers and tournament staff here as well, the tournament sponsors, including Force Ultimate and Eurodisc, and all of our lovely sponsors and patrons as well. Your support is greatly appreciated. We literally couldn't do this without you because we would all be bankrupt, but we would like to do this a lot more, so we would appreciate any support you can have on our Patreon page, and you can find out more information on that at www.ULTI.TV as we draw an end to our coverage here of day one at the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships. Plenty to watch tomorrow. Back nice and early, ready for a 9:30 start in the Masters Open Division with XL from Belgium taking on Goldfingers of Germany. One of 6 games we've got for you. Tomorrow, another bumper day here on the stream. So thank you very much for watching. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. The final score here, BEEFIRE 15, Wizards of Oz 9. Have a lovely evening, and we will see you on the other side.
Hi, this is Vest. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a Patreon member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV